How about we have a deep investigation into the decisions by big tech surrounding the 2020 election? In particular, the lockdown of the New York Post Twitter account, the clear attempt to turn the Hunter Biden laptop into Russian disinformation that seems to have stemmed throughout the entirety of the entire Democrat apparatus, including also the FBI and national security. Wouldn't you like to have an investigation there? And I would like to have an investigation into how every social media company came to simultaneously ban Donald Trump. How much conversation was going on there? What exact rig job experience was going on surrounding everything big tech in 2020? And how does this interplay of the FBI with the Biden administration and a clear decision made to treat what appears to be 100% accurate laptop? And Buck, not only 100% accurate laptop, as all of these different videos and text messages and emails and everything else have come out, it's impossible for Russia to have faked this.
Clay, I want to start with this story that's gotten a fair bit of attention about something that is really troubling. Because while on the one hand, there's all this focus on the January 6th committee from the Democrats. And as we know, this is just, they have to create a psychological safe space for themselves. They have to have this place where they can feel like we're the good guys. And that's what January 6th is. Forget about the economy. Forget about everything else. January 6th is we're the heroes of the Republic and we're going to stop the monster Trump. Meanwhile, and you and I, of course, have a bet about this. And I have been told to remind you that you also have a stake bet with our friend, Ms. Ann Coulter, over who's going to win the Georgia Senate race. She told me about this morning. She says she's not letting you out of that one. So,
look, I think I have 4 stake bets right now, Buck, just for the record. One with you over Hunter Biden, one with Ann Coulter over whether Trump runs in 2024, which that one is like minus 19,000. Like,
she's going to be buying you a stake on that one for sure.
Yeah, worst case. And I think Herschel Walker wins. And I'm pretty confident about that. And I also bet Molly Hemingway. We had a dinner on Friday. Molly Hemingway bet me a stake over whether Ron DeSantis was going to run for president. And I feel like I'm just racking up stakes left and right here.
It's like you're running the Clay Travis Aged Beef Foundation or,
I felt, I know I'm going to have to open up my own steakhouse at this point because I'm just taking everybody. I mean, to me, I'm going 4-0 in these. Yours is the most difficult of those.
Well, bringing it right back into that, there's whistleblower information now that has come to the attention of Senator Chuck Grassley. And Washington Examiner here with a piece on this, although it's been covered at a number of very solid news outlets. The FBI investigation into Hunter Biden wrongly labeled verified information as disinformation, according to FBI whistleblowers who have gone to see Senator Chuck Grassley with this information. Agents investigating Joe Biden's son opened an assessment which was used by an FBI headquarters team to improperly discredit negative Hunter Biden information as disinformation and cause investigative activity to cease, end quote. Clay, if the FBI really is now the Praetorian Guard for Democrat administrations, if they're going to engage in soft coups against a Republican administration like Trump and then prevent the actual administration of justice under Biden, we got a really big problem to handle.
Well, if you want to have a real investigation into threats to our democracy, and I mean this honestly, Democrats staged the January 6th event. I don't think there's a lot of depth to January 6th, by which I mean we know almost everything about January 6th. And there hasn't really been that many revelations to come out of all of the primetime hearings, all the hours that they've spent this summer covering January 6th. Buck, how about we have a deep investigation into the decisions by big tech surrounding the 2020 election? In particular, the lockdown of the New York Post Twitter account, the clear attempt to turn the Hunter Biden laptop into Russian disinformation that seems to have stemmed throughout the entirety of the entire Democrat apparatus, including also the FBI and national security. Wouldn't you like to have an investigation there? And I would like to have an investigation into how every social media company came to simultaneously ban Donald Trump. How much conversation was going on there? What exact rig job experience was going on surrounding everything big tech in 2020? And how does this interplay of the FBI with the Biden administration and a clear decision made to treat what appears to be 100% accurate laptop? And Buck, not only 100% accurate laptop, as all of these different videos and text messages and emails and everything else have come out, it's impossible for Russia to have faked this. I mean, the whole idea that this could have ever been Russian disinformation, when you've got Hunter Biden recording himself on his laptop with hookers and crack, naked, making porno videos, all these things, this was impossible to have been Russian disinformation.
The people who came forward, and that includes some from the dozens from the intelligence community, including those who had run some of the three-letter agencies, CIA, NSA, etc. They knew that it wasn't disinformation. I'm just going to tell everybody that right now. But they also knew that they were giving cover to a lie, and that was what was demanded of them to be in the good graces of the apparatus and of the Democrat Party. They gave cover to a lie. That was the whole point. That was the whole purpose. They didn't actually think. I mean, if they could make a deep fake with Hunter Biden dancing around in his tighty whities, dusting crack over himself while he's making porno videos with strippers, or hookers, whatever. If they can do that, they can do anything, right? I mean, this was so obviously not disinformation. It was clear to everybody in the beginning that it was reality. But I think everyone needs to understand the people who lied about it don't feel bad about it. And they won't be held accountable.
Many of them are employed at high levels right now, like Jake Sullivan.
Yeah, they're rewarded for this. The same way that all of the Russia collusion truthers in the media received effectively promotions, more famous, bigger paychecks, more respected by the establishment. In the government, maybe a few of them had a couple of problems because they were working for Trump, technically, and were trying to overthrow him with lies. But now they've got book deals. They're on the speaking circuit. The apparatus takes care of its own. And this is one of the reasons why they're able to get away with this stuff, because they have a well-oiled machine of propaganda, lies, and disinformation in the cause of rooting out allegedly disinformation. That's the amazing part, right? The watchers are the ones who need to be watched.
Succinctly said, when I read this Hunter Biden latest bombshell revelation, I say bombshell because most everybody out there who listens to us is already quite familiar with it. But to me, the way to sort of sum all this up is everything that they told you about the Trump family, the Biden family actually did it. And it's wild to think about, because for 5 years they told us that the Trump family was the worst collection of grifters that had ever existed in mankind. And then you look at everything that Hunter Biden did, and they provided complete and total cover for him. But this is really, I mean, I'm curious what you think, Buck, and we can have a long conversation on this, because you went into the CIA post 9/11 because you were a patriot, because you wanted to go fight for your country and help everyone out there who was worried about the Middle East and terrorists and everything else in a post 9/11 era. How furious do you think so many people inside the CIA and the FBI are, who had similar motives as you to go work for the better of the country? And then they find out, and I think it's a good analogy you're making, that effectively they're the Praetorian Guard protecting the ruling class as opposed to protecting the people.
I can tell you that I know people from within. I still know people that are in the intelligence community, and some of them are very senior now. It's because people that I worked with, now they're in they're in 15, 20 years, right? I mean, they're the people that are running some of the
right.
And here's the way that it works: if you are a lib who gets high up in the FBI, high up in the CIA, you are a zealot. And so when you have the power to push things politically for your side, you do it. The people I know who are conservatives still show up every day at the FBI, the CIA, wherever, and they're about the mission. And it's just a difference in mentality. Well, the same way that leftists can't hear things they don't like and want to shut down speech they don't like, it's just in their nature. People in the bureaucracy who are libs, who are true believer Democrats, when they have the power, a lot of, when you're a junior, when someone like me, I mean, I was just, I was a guy in a cubicle trying to do his best. But when you get up in the ranks, then all of a sudden you have the power to, I don't know, look what happened to Trump. You had that guy who was at the NSC who, with the phone call and the impeachment. These Democrats, they do this stuff all the time. The moment they think they can take down a White House, they will do it for the cause. The conservatives that I know that work at these places, work at the FBI, they're like, can we stop the human traffickers, the drug cartels, the
actual bad guys?
The actual bad guys. Can we find the serial killers and the heroin pushers and the bad people and not just worry all the time about, what headquarters in D.C. thinks about the latest Washington Post op-ed? It is a difference in mentality, and it stretches to the very top of these institutions.
It is incredibly frustrating. Are you nervous? Are you nervous that you're going to lose your stake bet?
No, because remember, just for clarity's sake, they're going to find a way to give Hunter a little slap on the wrist, and that's what I've said all along, and then I'm eating that filet with Béarnaise sauce and maybe even Oscar style where they put
the crab
tonight
on.
That's just so excessive. I love it. Little pieces of fresh crab meat on top of your steak with the Béarnaise sauce, Clay. I'm going to take photos of this, guys.
It is very, very good. That is, and look, I'm confident that I'm going to win all four of those stake bets that are out there right now in the next couple months. Now it seems, have you been paying attention also to the potential investigation? Merrick Garland is clearly investigating Trump for January 6th. And Trump land, right? The larger apparatus surrounding Trump for January 6th. And my double Babe Ruth called home run shot of what's going to happen here is they're going to charge Hunter, and then they're going to charge Trump and try to argue that the DOJ is clean. Now, I think they'll charge Trump with some sort of wacky conspiracy, related thing if they do it. Do you buy in to my idea that if they charge Hunter with something, they're giving themselves cover to charge Trump?
Well, I don't think they're going to charge Hunter, but if they were to charge, because think about the position that puts Joe Biden in.
Yeah,
right? It would, if they were really going to charge him. Look, I don't care who you are. If you're the president of the United States and your son is facing your surviving son, right? He already lost one son recently, is facing time in federal prison. You're commuting, if not pardoning, that sentence, right? And so now we have the Biden crime family effectively doing, to your point about how everything that said Trump did, the Biden family actually has engaged in, or at that point, it will be an even stronger case. I think it is a strong case right now that that's true. But, if that happens, we're in this uncharted territory situation. Do they bring some kind of charge against Trump, knowing that it's a Hail Mary pass in a sense? I mean, it's just trying to shake things up and make things, given how desperate they are right now with the polls, the numbers where they're looking, the economy where it's going. I don't think you can discount. I mean, you agree. You're calling a shot in the upper deck here, buddy. Right?
Yes.
This would be, and I would be deeply impressed. But I'm not saying you're crazy, and I'm not saying, I wouldn't bet everything I got against you on it.
And here's the other thing about this. We didn't talk a lot about Steve Bannon getting convicted, but Democrats right now have such a home court advantage for any charges that are brought in D.C., where they are basically preaching to the choir inside of any jury. And so that's the other aspect of this that's such a mess.
And the judges are lib acolytes too. Right. And so they won't allow even a change of venue. You'd much rather, if you're Steve Bannon, you would much rather be charged in like the Southern District of Virginia or something, or whatever the districts are there, or face a jury down there than you would in D.C. proper, which is what's going on.
Which is why I think this is such a big part of the calculus as well, is even if they brought charges against Hunter Biden, would there be any, if they're federal charges and they brought them in the D.C. area? Now, I know there's all different sorts of violations, the investigation going on in Delaware, and he's committed, frankly, crimes everywhere. I wonder where the forum might be on any charges that are brought, not only for Hunter Biden, but also if they tried with Trump.